Hey guys, what's up?
Yeah.
Um, so just to start off, I feel like God has really just worked through Pulse in my life like crazy because like so to start off, like part of my testimony is that I grew up in like my family went to church when I was growing up. Uh, we went to this church in like Inver Grove Heights, which is kind of like I don't know, like 30 minutes from here or something. And uh, I would say that I had God in my life from when I was like a kid, but uh, around like seventh grade is when I I was at school, right? And my friend came up to me after like school was done, and he was like, "Do you want to come to this Lecrae concert that's like happening at US Bank Stadium? It's free." So I was like, "Yeah." So I like went with his family, and we yeah, so we went to this Lecrae concert, and that ended up being a Pulse event. I didn't know it at the time, and I didn't really know it like my whole life. But when I was there, yeah, like I just found out about that like while being here at Pulse. Yeah, it was so crazy. So like so so during that though, my friend at one point he turned over to me and he was like, "Hey, do you believe in Jesus?" And I was like, I mean, I'd heard Jesus' name, but I hadn't really I don't think made that commitment fully. So that's what I did. When I watched that sermon back that Nick gave, I like remember like all the parts of it, like where he like had like a ladder and stuff, and he was like, yeah, he was like turn to the person next to you and ask them if they need Jesus, and I remembered like that was what the part with my friend was. Yeah. So after that, I got baptized at my church. That that was cool. So that happened probably within like a month or something of the the uh, the Pulse event. But I would say like yeah. So like after that, my life was pretty good. Uh, and I think that God always protected me. Um, he always protected me from being around like the wrong crowds at school or whatever. Um, I always had like a good group of friends. And then around like high school, like middle of high school, I I stopped really having as much of a relationship with God actually. So my family like stopped going to church, and it was it was kind of rough. Like I didn't have that like backbone anymore. So yeah, so um, I kind of just did my own thing for like a couple of years. Like I I believed in like I think some things like with God, like possibly like maybe I believed in God a little bit, but I started rejecting like Christianity or like organized religion. And then, well, there's a friend that was in my life like throughout almost, I would say almost that whole period, and definitely God had him in my life because like I've actually known him for almost my whole life. Like our families like that church that I mentioned, our families went to that church together. Like so that's how we knew their family. And he around like around like 2023, he was in my life, and we were hanging out like all the time. He was like my little brother's best friend, and he we were friends, and but it wasn't until maybe like a little bit later that me and him actually became friends more so. And this was when I was like pretty far away from Christ. Like, I mean, I was actually kind of like a bad influence to him because I would like give him like weed and stuff like that, and like I was I was just kind of like I was in a really weird bad place that I hadn't been for really most of my life. And so I slowly but surely, like I believe he was like evangelizing to me, even though I was being a bad influence to him. He was still a bit of a Christian. He would still go to like youth group and stuff, and he was I was like 18 and he was like 17, something like that. So it was like he was still sort of had that like covering of like the church. And so we slowly but surely, we would hang out, and I would, you know, I would be a bad influence on him, and you know, we would like smoke weed together and just other things. And then uh, eventually, I had this like really bad day. So I was like house sitting for my aunt, and we had this like super big fight. Like I was up the whole night before. This is in the morning, and me and her had like a really bad fight. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go home. Like I'm not gonna stay at this place anymore at this house. And so I like packed all my stuff up. I got my dad to take me home. I went back to my parents' house, and I was just like literally like it was like the darkest day of my life, honestly. Like I didn't know what I was gonna do like the next day. Like so far I'd kind of been like satisfied with living for the world. Like I didn't really feel the pain of it as much, but on this day I felt that pain of like the consequences of my actions. I'm like, this isn't working. Like I can't get along with my family. I was super mad at my dad at the time. I had this like father wound in my heart. And so I yeah, so all that happened was I was just like in my room at night. It's like 10 p.m. and the same friend and our other friend, who's a friend of my little brother's, sort of in that friend group. He was. They were both telling me that they have, you know, they're like taking Christ seriously, and like that seriously transformed me because I saw that like that joy that was in like my friend, um, and he was always like super joyful, like super like happy type of guy, like very outgoing. And he was like, I didn't know why that was. I thought it was just like the way he was like born or something. Like I thought that was just who he was, but no, like he had this like supernatural joy about him, and everyone would just like respond to him and just be like happy to be around him. And I was like, it made me want to be happy around him too. So yeah, so eventually, yeah, so they were telling me all that, and I literally like I get this like vision in my head of like Jesus like that. Like it's like in my head, and I'm like, bro, like what is going on? Like it's like this whole like spiritual thing that happened to me. And and yeah, at that point it felt like something supernatural happened. And I just like I just honestly like confessed to God. I was like, you know, I don't remember the exact words or whatever, but I was just kind of like, yeah, like I believe in this. Like I was at my wit's end. Like I had to be brought to my lowest, one of my lowest points that night. So yeah, so I believed in him again. So uh, a little bit of time went by, and I got like saved, and I got like spiritually attacked right away, and I got like pulled into this like party scene, and like right away after I got saved, it was horrible. So for like 2 months, I was a pretty like lost person. Like I was working at this job at Curtains. It's in Inver Grove Heights. It's like a garden store, and I was just like, I literally, I was like, that was the worst employee I've been in my whole life. I was showing up to work like stoned or like just out of it, and it was just horrible. Like, but I had a boss there that at the time I didn't really like him at all. And also at one point I had tried to just like stop smoking weed, and so I was like, I'm gonna get a job at Gerton's because it's like it'd be a good environment for me and stuff. And then I like fell back into it. So it's this whole thing of like all this moving parts. And uh, when I got to Gerton's, um, you know, I was just like, I was just lost, right? And then I slowly but surely while I was there, I started like hearing this like voice in my head, and it was like super weird. And the voice would almost like tell me like what I could do to better myself and like a direction in life. And I was like, dude, I don't know what this is, but it's like a voice, right? He's like, it's like I'm talking to this voice in my head. It's so weird. And it happened like, I don't know, like halfway through me working at this job. And eventually, I feel like I start like following this voice, or at least like this voice is leading me to like the Bible, and it's really weird, right? And so I one day, I know that I'm about to have like an argument with my boss, or I've been having a decent amount of them with him. So what I do is I look up online like how to talk to, essentially like how to how to respond like well to somebody because I would deal with like anger with him. So I there was like two things. It was like some like a psychologist guy that was like, hey, you gotta like control your emotions. And then another guy was, or another thing was like, hey, you gotta just pray. You gotta pray to God. And it was like these two things I could have followed. So what I did in that moment was I literally like I prayed to God like for the first time in a long time. I was like, God, please help me to talk to this guy. And I felt like God like literally like moved my mouth to talk to him. Like it was so weird. And eventually like he walked away. Then like 20 minutes later, he comes back to me and he's like, "Hey, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to let you go. Like let you go from the job. Fire me basically." And this is not coming at a good time because I was about to get kicked out of my parents' house. And uh, yeah, so I needed that money. I needed a place to stay and stuff. And so yeah, so I walked home, right? And I have these like these options in front of me. Like I feel like my whole life is like crashing down, literally in this exact moment. Like I'm going through it. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know where I'm gonna sleep. And so what I do is I I literally start following God in this moment. And looking back, it's like I feel like that happened just to make me have to follow God, and I'm so grateful for it, even though it was hard at the time. Like um, I've mentioned like it's really been when I've had to be at my lowest points that I've had to surrender to God because I know that the world isn't working. And so that's what happened. I started following him, and this happened just like slowly but surely. And then like 2 months after that or so, I came to a Pulse event, and Ranger Mike, who's like he's sort of been like my mentor for a while, and he was like in the army for 12 years or whatever. So he's like this he's this very like extreme kind of guy, if that makes sense. Yeah, he's like extreme, like if you meet him. So like but he brought me to this Pulse event, a revival night. And I went there with my friend that I'm talking about and my little brother, and we go with Mike. So it's us three and Mike. And when I'm there, I'm like, I was like mad at them because they were like sort of calling themselves Christians at the time, and I was taking it really seriously. But they would still do things like cuss or like make bad jokes and stuff like that. And I was like embarrassed about them. I was like, dude, I don't, I'm gonna like stay away from these guys. Like I don't like this at all. But they like I feel like they were there with me. So we uh we go there, and it comes time for them to get baptized. And my friend, he was I think planning on getting baptized already going into this event, and like his youth pastor kind of like the whole way or almost the whole way, maybe like a year. Uh, he came too, so in order to he wanted to get baptized by his like youth pastor basically. So they uh they go over to the thing at the end of the event, which is like baptisms, right? And uh, they're like, okay, we're gonna get baptized. So and in that moment, so I went down to the water with them to the creek, and everyone like there's this like whole scene like everyone is like very like joyful like this whole crazy thing like oh my gosh like it's like an actual creek like it's crazy. So like yeah, it's like John the Baptist like so like and I feel this like tug in my heart. So Mike, he's like next to me, and I had only like just met him like maybe a month ago at this point. Like, but he was like, and I feel like God put me in his life or whatever to like almost like be like a mentor or something because I needed that. And so he's like, maybe you should get baptized, And I didn't think of it because I'd already been baptized when I was like 12. So I was like, yeah, I don't really need to. I've already been baptized, but I just like felt that tug in my heart. And so what I did was I got into that water and I got baptized with my little brother and my friend. And I got baptized. Uh, the people that like dunked me, it was Mark and Tyler, who's the youth pastor, and Tyler at the time, I didn't really know him, but now, like looking back, me and him have been working like in the youth ministry for like almost a year at this point. Like he has been a really big mentor in my life, like crazy. And I had no idea at the time. Like I couldn't understand this. I still can't understand even just being in this room right now. One of these moments.
So he just posted a picture of that moment.
I did.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it up here. Hold on, let's see if we can get it. So, wow, that's awesome.
That's
So,
That's the building next to
Wow. Turn out the brightness.
Oh, you're getting closer. Let's see it a little bit.
Oh yeah, kinda.
Focus, please.
Wait.
We get the idea.
Yeah. So I got baptized, and when I got baptized, I feel like it changed a lot. I feel like I started being all out for God when I got baptized again. Like I feel like as soon as that happened, there's so much of crazy stuff that started happening in my life. Like, I needed a job because that was gonna help me like move back in with my parents, and it was like it was gonna start to get colder, and it was just like all this stuff was going on. So like about a month after I get baptized, I get this job at this place called Junk Genius, and it's like this junk removal company, and I had literally applied for like 40 jobs, and I hadn't gotten a single acceptance. Like it was so weird. But I started working at Junk Genius. It like they hired me right on the spot. It's so weird, and I become a man at this job. Like I'm around like all these like crazy like hardcore like these like guys that are like, you know, and I'm just like I become a man here. Like I move out of my parents' house, and it's crazy, man. Like God puts me through all this crazy stuff, and like as soon as I move out of my parents' house, it's just so hard. Like I have to do everything now. I have to like provide for myself. Like I have to figure out where I'm gonna live. Like all this, and it literally time and time again. Like I think I don't know where I'm gonna go, and then God just boom. Oh, you can house sit for these people for 2 months. That happened with some people from church. That was an answered prayer. Oh, you can move into this house with these roommates for like super cheap. Like that happened to me, and it was like that happened through a person from church, and then it's like, oh, all these guys they like went to Bethel, and it's like now it's like maybe that's the college that I'm gonna go to. It's like all this stuff is like I feel like God's doing, and like I thought I was gonna get the Pulse internship in the summer, so that was another thing. Like I was like excited for it. I was like, I feel like they're gonna accept me this time, and it still didn't happen, and I didn't understand it. And I guess Mark is saying that maybe I wasn't ready, and I don't know, but what ended up happening was I got to work at this summer camp instead, and this summer camp was really transformative, actually, for me. So it was like it's called Camp Gym, and it's like the same camp that Tyler worked at when he was like younger for like 5 summers, and like he met his wife there and stuff, and it's like this camp, and it just changed my life, honestly. Like I mean Jesus changed my life, but it was just a really great time there, and it's like all this stuff I couldn't have done this myself. I believe that it was truly God that saved me, and that I didn't save myself. Like I didn't come to God. Like I couldn't study my way into God. Like I used to study these like all this stuff before Christ. Like I was into like so much like philosophy and stuff like that, and I couldn't study my way into Christ. I didn't find it on my own. It was like somebody prayed for me for a long time or something, like, or I had these like Christians in my life, like, and they were praying for me. Like I'm sure they were. My boss that fired me, I looked him up afterwards, and he's a Christian. He's actually like an assistant pastor or something like that. Like I haven't talked to him since then, but I'm sure that he was praying for me. I mean, I have faith that he was. Like I don't fully understand everything that's happened in my life, but yeah, it was God that saved me. I didn't do it myself, and so like now I'm just here to like point you guys to God, because that is the only reason that I'm standing in this room right now.
Amen.
Yeah.
Now you're like a small group leader in your youth group,
Yep.
and so you're leading young guys.
Yeah. I'm leading middle school boys now, so that's it's like this.
Yeah.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, just look at how mad I look in this picture. I'm like,
Finish the para.
bro, are you sure you want to do this? I don't know. It's like, wasn't there a better photo from her? That was awesome. But I mean, so many of us have been impacted by camp ministry, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, this summer you felt like you really took that big leap. Leading guys in cabins and it's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I never heard of Camp Gym before. What does it stand for again?
Jesus is mine.
So JIM.
JIM. It's an acronym for Jesus is mine, and the camp has been around for almost 100 years, and so originally the guy that the way it got its name was the guy that started the camp. He went around like for evangelism with a name tag that said Jim on it, and he was like, it was like a way for him to tell people about Jesus. That wasn't his actual name, but it was like Jesus is mine. He was like, this is an acronym. He was like, Jesus is mine. It was like evangelism. So that's how it got its name. Not a lot of people know about Camp Gym, but it has a special place in my heart.
And it's like 3 hours up north?
It's like 2.5 hours north of here. And Daniel over there, he was able to attend Camp Gym last weekend. And it was cool. It was cool. Yeah.
Was it like a men's ministry, or it was a young adults camp, or
it was like a reunion for the staff.
for the staff?
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, well, we want to pray for Avery and